Time for sport. Caravan joins us, starting with rugby. Hey, a little over a week to go before the start of the Six Nations, the last tournament before the World Cup in Japan next autumn.
Yes, the 2019 edition getting underway in just about 9 days, Friday, February 1st. Coaches and captains, of course, traditionally gathering to get together and present that tournament. Day one of this edition will see a huge clash between England and Ireland. Ireland, of course, who completed the Grand Slam last year and who'll be seeking a fourth title in 6 years. Meanwhile, runners-up Wales, who last lifted the trophy back in 2013, will have to begin their campaign without their fullback Lee Halfpenny, who is still recovering from a concussion. They'll be opening the Six Nations in Paris against a French team still trying to find its groove. In 2018, Les Bleus managed just 3 wins in 11 games, and coach Jacques Brunel, who has called up 5 uncapped players, played down France's chances of improving on last year's performance. Take a listen.
I'm really just waiting for that first match. In 2018, our team had plenty of near misses. We need to win in order to regain confidence. So this first match will be a very important test for us, for our ambitions. It will also be important because of the quality of our opponents. Wales are confident. They've had a good year. It will be a challenge, and I think the challenge is to beat one of the favourites and to build up our confidence.
Let's move on now to handball. France lost their final group game against Croatia 23-20. Les Bleus, though, were already qualified for the semis of the World Championships and will be facing the co-hosts Denmark on Friday in a repeat of the 2016 Olympics final won by the Danes. In the other semi, Germany will face another Nordic country, Norway, hoping to reach the final at home. Now, we also have the full picture of the Australian Open semifinals. They'll be kicking off with the 2 women's matches. Unseeded American Danielle Collins will be taking on Czech Petra Kvitova, while fellow Czech Karolina Pliskova, who defeated Serena Williams, will follow up against a US Open champion Naomi Osaka. Thursday, we'll finish with the first men's semifinal, with up-and-coming star Stefanos Tsitsipas taking on the great Rafael Nadal, with world number 1 Novak Djokovic taking the court on Friday to face France's Lucas Pouille. Football now with the French Cup. Holders Paris Saint-Germain are through to the last 16 after beating Strasbourg 2-0. The Parisians had goals either side of halftime. The first just 3 minutes in through Edinson Cavani. The second one came about 10 minutes from time through Angel Di Maria. Bad news, though, for Paris Saint-Germain, who saw Neymar limping off the pitch after about an hour of play. The Brazilian apparently hurting his right foot, returning to the locker rooms in tears. He is currently in the hospital to check on that foot. This less than 3 weeks before their Champions League clash against Manchester United at Old Trafford. The only other Ligue 1 clash in that French Cup turned in favor of Dijon, who beat Saint-Etienne 6-3. Now to the latest transfer news. It is official. Gonzalo Higuain has joined Chelsea on loan from Juventus. The Argentina striker had already been on loan to AC Milan in the first half of the season. And while his spell at Milan had started out well with 6 goals in 7 matches, he'd only managed 1 in the last 12 appearances. Higuain, who joins the Blues till the end of the season. But the signing, which was completed late in the day, means that he is not eligible to play in tomorrow's League Cup semi-final second leg against Tottenham. No surprises in the other semi-final, which was played this evening. Manchester City are through to the final after beating Burton Albion 10-0 on aggregate. One final transfer news here in France. Mario Balotelli's move to Marseille has now been made official. The Italian signing for 6 months after ending his contract with Nice. And the search for footballer Emiliano Sala continued today over the channel, nearly 48 hours after his plane disappeared. Messages sent by the player before takeoff have now emerged. In one voice message, he expressed his concerns about the plane. He said, quote, "I'm on a plane that looks like it's going to fall apart. If you don't hear from me in an hour and a half, I don't know if they'll send someone to get me because they're not going to be able to find me." He ended his message saying, "I'm really scared." Now, according to reports, there were problems starting the plane's engine and for takeoff. So far, search operations have been unable to find any trace of the plane, and they were suspended by nightfall. Officials saying that they will reassess the situation before deciding to continue the search. It will be this Thursday morning, but they said that the chances of finding survivors, Mark, were now unfortunately slim to none.
I think, Kedavan, the facts of the matter speak for themselves, don't they? It's an incredibly tragic situation, though, and obviously your heart goes out to all concerned. It's an incredibly sad and tragic outcome. Kedavan, thank you very much indeed. Kedavan Gorjestani with All the Sport. Thanks a lot.